Welcome to the next installment of our weekly video series. Today we're going to be covering a project that I did here a while back, a survival rifle project. Sort of a proof of concept to see if it would actually work. I think it turned out pretty well. Essentially what I was looking to do is take a small 22 semi-automatic rifle and outfit it so that it had survival gear on board for fire starting and signaling and all the basic survival type stuff. At least fairly comprehensive, but still fairly basic. But the idea was something you could just grab and go with it, and it would have everything on it that you would need. I certainly didn't come up with the idea. I've seen the idea before, but I wanted to see what I could do with the materials that I had at hand, and possibly look at producing these as needed basis for folk if there was something they were looking for. So what I did was I started with a little Marlin Model 75, very similar to the Marlin Model 60s, but just shorter. I wanted it as compact as possible, so it doesn't have the long magazine too. It's a 9-shot internal magazine. I didn't want a rifle with a detachable mag on because you always end up losing the detachable mags, and they're always sort of the weakest link anyway in the firearm. So wanted something with an internal tube mag. These Marlins, they're all over the place. Obviously parts are not an issue. There's lots of bits and pieces for them. The receiver and all the guts are very similar or identical to the Model 60. It's just different lengths and different magazine tubes. So started with the Model 75 as a base. And what I did was, didn't alter the rifle as far as the action or anything is concerned. So with the stock, what I did was, you see, I made a little hollowed out spot here. Actually drilled into the stock. I'm going to go ahead and take everything that's in here out. I've got some just dryer lint here, both as fire starting and to keep things from rattling around. So in this pocket of stock here, we have a wire saw. We have, bear with me because I've forgotten everything I put in here. We have a basic little fishing kit here with some sinkers and hooks and fishing line. A small signal mirror. Matches, waterproof matches with a striking strip. A bit of snare wire, a bit of all-purpose string, sewing type string. Let's see what else we got here. A candle, and then we have more lint on the bottom. I won't bother grabbing that out. There's a little more lint for fire starting and whatnot. Fashioned this swinging trapdoor. I did have to, of course, cut the butt plate, access hole there. So just drilled 2 1-inch diameter holes, roughly scooped out the middle there. Fashioned this little swinging trapdoor, hold everything in nice and tight. Next, I fashioned a couple speed loaders, if you will, out of aluminum arrow shafts. So these each have 9 rounds, which is the capacity of the rifle. Capped the one end with just a 9mm casing I had floating around. Nice fit, tight, nice and tight, doesn't come off. Cork the other end with a little piece of 90-mile-an-hour tape, so you can just pull the tape, pull the cork, upend it, and of course they're loaded in so that they will actually load the right way, obviously. Made 2 of those. Had to hollow out a channel in the stock here to accommodate those, but with these Marlin rifles they generally have a hump on the stock, so hollowing that out is pretty easy to do without losing any stock material. And next we have the stock pouch here, which was just a surplus pouch I had floating around for years. Obviously originally designed for shotguns. So within the pouch then we have a Gerber pocket tool. We have a striker and flint, again for fire starting. You have a magnifying glass here, which could multiple uses, fire starting or looking for slivers and whatnot. Again, more of the ubiquitous dryer lint for fire starting. And I also have ammo storage here, so each one of these 12 gauge, empty 12 gauge hulls actually has 22 ammo in it. So I have them color coded red for ammo. There's 4 of those. And then this green one here is just for waterproof matches. And also on the other side of the pouch, we have space blankets, a little bit of toilet paper, and a waterproof bag for collecting water, whatnot, plus survival instructions. And then, last but not least, for the survival goodies, I then had a parachute cord sling fashioned. I didn't actually make this myself, and I'm not sure how many feet are in this, but I would imagine it's at least a couple hundred feet. It's a 4-row sling, so I know there's quite a bit of cordage material here for shelter building. And then on the rifle itself, I masked a couple spots off on the stock. I don't know if you can see it here. There's some texture both in the forearm and the pistol grip area of the stock. Masked those areas off, shot the stock with a Brownell's spray grit, and then removed the masking and then Duracoated the entire rifle so you don't have to worry about rust or anything like that. Just decided to do a little camo pattern on it. Nothing too terribly fancy. And so now you've got texture on both your gripping areas as well as the Duracoat. Runs like a champ. These rifles are hard to not make work. They're fairly easy to work on if you do have issues with them. And that was essentially the end of the project. So I think it turned out fairly well. And like I said, it's sort of a grab it and go kind of thing. It'll get you at least able to start fires, able to signal, able to take game, small game. You can build shelter material or try to make shelter material anyway with your parachute cord. You got a space blanket for keeping yourself warm. You know, not a 100% perfect survival kit, but certainly better than nothing. And like I said, it's just something you can just grab on the way and go kind of deal in an emergency situation. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. And like I said, something I could do here at the shop. If you had a rifle that you wanted to bring in to have this treatment done to it, I certainly could do that, and I could stock it up with stuff for you, or you can bring your own stuff in, either or. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you all next week.